Hello, y'all. How's it going? Um, Volume's probably a bit too high. Just take that down. About there. That should be good. Hello, y'all. How's it going? I think the mic is good this time. Um, yeah, hey. It's Monday. That means it's time to start in on brand new, I say brand new, a new full playthrough, which is gonna be this game here, The Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword. Um, Before we start, let me say a couple things, you know, some table setting, as it were. Um, just a couple of things, just a couple of things. First off, some quick follow up on the. One second. Got my mouse. Just a little follow up on the PC issues that were going on Friday. So Friday there were a couple of issues with the new PC. In particular, first off, the microphone was being all screwy. The microphone have here on the couch. I fixed that issue by unplugging it, switching it with the one at the PC, and continuing from there. I will say, first off, after that stream ended, I plugged in the other microphone, the one that was not working, into the place where it is over by the PC, and it worked fine over there. I don't know or understand like what was going on with it, but seems like they're both working, and it seems like I don't need to get a new Blue Yeti to replace the one that I got. So the two that I got, or one of the two that I got. So that at least is good. I will say, as for the other issue where the monitors were disconnecting repeatedly, causing huge lag spikes, and a lot of frames dropped every time that happened, because whenever a monitor disconnects on Windows, it basically just shits a brick because it doesn't know what to do and can't handle it. That's pretty much what's happened for decades, I guess. I don't know. That's just how Windows does it. I'll say, after that stream, it didn't do it again. It didn't do it again, not once did the monitors disconnect. And also, I went to the store and I bought a new DisplayPort connector and connected the monitors with that. It's of it's a 1.4 standard. It's a newer, maybe it's a newer cable. I'm not sure if my old cable was of an older standard, but I don't know. It should help. At any rate, it's now plugged in DisplayPort to DisplayPort. Previously, it was DisplayPort to mini DisplayPort. Again, I don't know if that makes a difference, but this should be good. And if it starts fucking up again, I will be very frustrated, and I would probably call an audible and hold off and try to end the stream as fast as possible if that were to happen again, and postpone any finishing of it. But knock on wood, I haven't seen the issues since Friday, and I replaced the part that would be responsible for it, so I think it's good. If it happens again, something's wrong with that GPU, and I need to replace the GPU, which is annoying, but what are you gonna do? It would be what it was. That's all the PC stuff that's going on. I will say one thing that the new PC hasn't solved. I've seen some weirdness with my Elgato, which I was hoping was just a weirdness with my old PC, but turns out it's more just the Elgato. Every time, I don't know how to quantify it, but it seems like it's turning off a lot and requiring me to unplug it and replug it to even get pass through of the thing what's being passed through it, which is very annoying since I have all my consoles going through it. So if I ever want to play a game on a console, I have to unplug and replug a thing. That's not good. Maybe I should get a new Elgato capture card, or maybe I should look for drivers or something. I don't know. That thing is weird. Anyway, other than that, I'll say like, hey, I started a new job. I will be avoiding specifics on that, on account of I do believe that, I do believe that there should be a separation between this, stream thing that I do and the job. I mean, look, if I ever were to be forced in a situation where I were to discuss the company in question that I am working for, yes, I would disclose it and say that the opinions were my own, but that's not going to come up. I'm pretty good at avoiding such topics. I have done, for my previous job, I never mentioned that on here, what the specific company was, and I won't mention this one on here, other than to say, I will say, it is an in-office hybrid situation, so, that's going to affect the schedule some. It's going to be a little harder to juggle the stream and the job, since, getting off the job, it's not a simple matter every day of just, rolling right on to free time. No, I have to drive home first off, and then free time starts. And also I have to drive to there in the morning. It's a whole thing. A little bit inefficient, isn't it? I'll also say that the campus, the new place, a lot bigger office environment than I've ever seen. Like, my previous office was somewhere like maybe The Office, the television show, about that size of office place. And the new office is like an order of magnitude beyond that, as far as like, oh wow, you could not meet everyone who works on this floor. And you definitely couldn't meet everyone who works in this building. And you definitely couldn't meet everyone who works in all the buildings. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. It is a little bit of a shock to me, who's worked in a small building with, admittedly teams all over the world, some of which were in big building campus situations, but, I'll get used to it, I'm sure. Whole thing. Last card, I'd just like to discuss the schedule going forward, because I am fixing on some changes. I'll say the remote days appear to be, Wednesday and Friday. So those are the 2 days that I am working remote, sounds like, for the foreseeable future. I think Wednesday, Friday, like, if that were to be, like, the schedule of 2 streams, I don't know if I like the sound of that just yet, but maybe we might, mix it up at some point and change the days to sort of align with that a little better, on account of, those days it's just easier to roll off work and, get a stream ready and all that. I will say, of course, Friday being one of them means that viewer levels will be unaffected. It'll work the same as before, where I was working remote on all days on Friday, where, work day ends, I roll right off, get the stream set up, get the cards made, and then, get all going around 6 p.m. That should be the same as normal, but my current thought for now is I want to scale back most weeks down to 2 streams a week. I'm thinking right now the Monday stream, this playthrough, and viewer levels on Friday. Those are the 2 streams I want to keep for the time being. Now, give me a few weeks, get into the swing of things. Maybe I'll find that I am still happy to come home after work and set up a stream for around 8 p.m. It's a little later than 8 p.m. today. Please excuse me. I had things to do as far as, like, insurance and all that, and, you know, doing some stuff from home to get that stuff. There's stuff to do on day one of a job, it turns out, that complicate and delay a stream a bit. Also, I wanted to watch the new anime that just came out today and see if it was good. It seems good. Yeah, sure. I made cards for that. Yes, I did. Okay, good. Just thinking for a second if I remember to do that. I did remember to do that. So yeah, that'll be the plan. I will say for this week, I'm doing like a lot of remote training stuff. It sounds like will be the thing for this next week, which means that it'll be relatively light, I guess, or relatively like. I think it's gonna be relatively easy to just go off that and go into a stream on Thursday. So I'm gonna be doing Banjo-Kazooie PC and Banjo-Kazooie 2 PC, Banjo-Kazooie PC 2, which were two fan games from like the early aughts, from like the year 2000 roundabout, that I remember fondly, and I look forward to playing through probably all of during that little stream. I think maybe the first one is relatively simple, not really that much of a thing, and the second one is a lot more of a thing, and a way that's more fleshed out and interesting and good. Maybe we'll just get through the first one real quick, and then the second one more the focus. I'm not sure how long those games are, but I think that'll be fun for Thursday. Looking forward to that. Without further ado, and geez, we adoed quite a bit. Sorry, you know, I tend to talk. Without further ado, let's get into this game. I'm gonna do a new adventure. I'm gonna do it in slot 1. I moved the file that I had from before to another slot. Never finished HD in particular. I finished Skyward Sword, but I got through most of the dungeons in the remake, and then well, there was kind of a lot between me and the ending, and like the last dungeon. So I said, oh, I'm gonna do other things now, and here we are back to play the whole game starting from the start. This is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I'll say this is not the most best 3D Zelda. I would go so far as to say it's the one that is perhaps the most, well, if one of them had to be the worst. It's not Ocarina, it's not Majora's Mask, it's not Wind Waker, it's sure as hell not Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Either Twilight Princess or this one, and, you know, as far as the bloat that infests the later day Zeldas that are not the most recent Zeldas, this game kind of has the worst of it. But it also has some fantastic dungeons, which I hope you will all look forward to seeing. Now, I do have many cards for tonight. Watched many anime, and I'm sure to talk about that in a bit. Many new simulcasts this weekend, basically, and also today, so 3 days worth. Which, you know, the weekend is a very popular time to put out a show, it turns out, so I've kind of watched a lot. They were mostly pretty good. I actually don't think there were any shows that made me go, you know, oh, I'm not going to watch this again. A lot of shows that made me go like, let's wait and see if it turns out to be good, but, you know, nothing that makes for an immediate rejection. Maybe I'm being generous. Let's Rise is this Time to Awaken. There's that big beastie guy. We are fated to have a great destiny. We'll awaken. Link. That's our friend, the sword. Spoilers. You'll see. It makes sense. I do think this game has a great look. You know, I like its look a lot. It's kind of got brush strokes in it in a fun way. Kind of looks a little bit like pastel-y. It's a lot better painterly, maybe. It's a lot better than Twilight Princess. I'll say that. Like, Twilight Princess is a lot more whatever. You know, just sort of like, yeah, it's a little bit stylish, but not a lot stylish. Whereas this one is like, oh, it's clearly stylish, but also very clearly human proportions. We didn't go full chibi with it this time. I think this is a great look for a Zelda game. They fixed the thing where that happens every time you start a load of save, right? Who remembers? Oh, right, yeah, camera controls are not, ooh. Is there a way to... So this is the Switch version. So I'm playing with the regular-ass controller. Regular-ass controller here. So that means that the motion control stuff is like on the stick. Yeah, you hold down L. What is this sensitivity? I increase the sensitivity because this is rather slow. Yeah, let's go with very fast. Yeah, I would describe this as normal, honestly. This is normal camera speed. Maybe just a mite bit fast. Let's see. What does fast look like? I can't even imagine slow. Oh, fast is fine. This is actually... I would describe this as normal. What does very slow look like? Jesus Christ. Who would live like this? This is holding down the stick fully. I could not live like this. I could not live like this. Will not live like this. Button only controls. No. Screen display. Normal, yes. Very good. Hey, buddy. You have a great outfit. I want an outfit like that. Okay, buddy. Take it easy. I guess I'll talk to this tall guy. Owlin. I will press up to look around, yes. This is perhaps one of the more talky Zelda openings. Up there with just, yeah, this and, equally talky, I would guess, would be Twilight Princess. I wonder if Twilight Princess or this is more severe. I suppose Twilight Princess does start with, like, 3 days in the town, where you have to do, like, goat rearing and other such things. Ooh. Let's go. I'll say I've been sleeping at an earlier time, so recently, and also I got work in the morning, so don't expect us to go super long tonight. No. But we'll see what happens. I wouldn't mind, I guess, just going right to sleep after this. I would want to have some sort of cooldown, like maybe one episode of something or other. Well, that reminds me. I didn't make a card for one anime I started rewatching. I'll just say it because I can do that. I started rewatching one of my top anime of last year, Farming Life in Another World. I figured it'd be a nice, chill thing to just, you know, watch casually and enjoy the hell out of, because it's a really great show that just, you know, just slowly ramps up bit by bit into like a full farming, you know, basically the main character, he gets reincarnated into a world. He starts a farm. He starts with just a tool and a field. Sure, I'll do that. He starts with just a tool and a field. Oh, what the hell? Okay. He starts with just a tool and a field, and that tool and a field is like magic, so he's able to do it really good-like, and soon enough, he's got a little town, and he's got some people who, you know, come and live with them. And, before long, the little settlement becomes a little village, and, you know, really starts to prosper, and the slow growth, bit by bit, is, really great. I did forget, though, in the first episode, they do show you where it ends up. You know, just as to say, like, okay, we know it's just gonna be this guy alone by himself for a couple episodes, but trust me, there's gonna be dozens of people who come by of different sorts, including some pretty ladies. So, you know, please see this through. And, you know, I do think that is weird in retrospect, but I guess it is good to let people know that it's not just gonna be some dude. I'll say, the OP, the opening, has all the characters in it that appear, so, you know, that's kind of, there's already a pretty good clue in there as to what will happen. Yep, so save with the birds. The birds are how you save. Those fruits give you stamina. Pretty straightforward. Ghosty, our Zelda friend. At some point, I was considering doing Ocarina instead of this. Just, you know, because it's Ocarina. But the previous two full playthroughs I did other than StarCraft campaigns were Wind Waker and then Twilight Princess, so it kind of makes sense to complete the set of HD remakes here and, you know, go the distance. She's singing a song about the goddess. The goddess is like, you know, a character, Hylia? I'm not sure I could call Hylia a character so much as she is a figure. Don't know. You know what? Now that I say it, I bet in one of these games there's a named character who's called Hylia. But I don't think we've ever met Hylia. Like, not in memory. In Minish Cap, there's some goddesses who are just like, hey, I'm Naru. I'm, you know, the other ones. Din, I'm Din. Din is the easiest one of the bunch. Start with Din. But I don't know if other Hylias had the same treatment. I think probably. I'm gonna say great. Yeah, you look great. Well, I don't know about that haircut. But, you know, there's maybe a reason I don't think ever Skyward Sword Zelda was ever the model for, like, Smash Brothers Zelda. Better versions. That's Gaepora. Clearly a reference to the owl ocarina. Not as cool of a guy as the owl. I don't think he does much. I don't remember him doing that much. The main characters here, Zelda, Link, and Groose. Those are the three. Impa has like a minor role. I can't complete... Okay, yes I can. Maybe I just have to hit B multiple times sometimes. Some of these text boxes appear to not let you auto-complete them. Till like halfway through, apparently. I'm hitting B, and it's just doing nothing. Until it was near the end. Maybe they have to finish some animation. I should check for text speed. I like it when a text box fills all the way instantly. I suppose I should be talking about what they're saying. They're saying that loft wings are really good. They bind to their you know, to their rider. They fly around on them. That's sort of the big gimmick of this game, beyond, you know, motion controls. Which, as far as gimmicks go, it was kind of stripped away in this port, so... yeah, I could maybe tell you, like, how good of a gimmick it was. People really liked this game when it came out. I saw 5 stars reviews and all that. I don't think it's a 5-star Zelda, you know? But it does have really good dungeons. As far as Sky Realms go, I think this is a more boring one than, say, Tears of the Kingdom. In that case, it was instant, and it just, 2 of them popped right away. I feel like you should always be consistent. If you hit B, does it finish the thing? Or does it not? Oh, and I can also hold down A to speed it up. Even if B cannot complete in all cases, A seems to speed it up. Okay, new tech. I say, I'm kidding. I'm sure. I'm not speedrunning. B, they know. I'm joking. New tech for me, who doesn't know anything, and is not really trying to go fast. If I were going fast, I would hit A without hesitation. I need to fly real good. I can practice if I want. Sure, okay. You jump off the edge, and then you call for your loft wing. I don't sense my bird. I don't sense my bird! Hang on, I don't sense my bird! I don't have my paraglider! The fuck is he doing? His bird sure is taking a long time. Don't worry, every time you fall, some guy is like, hey, you should be more careful. I'll just drop you off here. If you just waited, Zelda, some guy will take care of it. Something's wrong with our bird. We don't sense our bird.
Oh.
I'm sorry, friend. For a bird to ignore the call of his master, it's unheard of. Okay. Maybe Well, what if he were sleeping? Maybe, you know, they don't sleep at unusual hours. It's unheard of. Yeah. What does bell mean? Okay, so this is the opening arc. Finding our bird. Okay, so we're going to see Horwell. It's gonna take a minute for me to get used to camera controls. Let me check options real fast, see if there's any other things. I wouldn't mind if it was like a if the L was like a toggle, but it doesn't look like that's an option. I see no further options. Okay, so we've got everything figured out. Let's do a card. Hear about how Microsoft is rumored to be releasing more games on Switch. So says the rumor. A lot of people are reporting on it, apparently. So I've heard. Who's this person? Faron. Oh. That's right. You don't know? Well, it's no surprise. Not everyone knows where a bird is. So that's the rumor going around, that basically like Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush are coming to Switch. I'll say Sea of Thieves is like, well, it's free to play, so, you know, if people on Switch want to play it, sure, why not? I'll say the graphical fidelity of Hi-Fi Rush is such that you probably should play the best version of it. I'm sort of wondering, like, if the water is going to look as good on Switch as on Xbox or PC. But you know, hey, go ahead, put all that stuff on the other platforms. Where's Professor? So, or is the Professor going to have it all be explained to? I'm not clear. As far as Hi-Fi Rush goes, that game is pretty stylized, so I would have to guess that it should be like, I don't know, easier. I mean, it's stylized in the way that this is stylized. It's sort of cel-shaded in a way that hopefully makes it more feasible to port over. But it's interesting that Microsoft is doing that, you know, porting more games, having less exclusives. I guess it shows that their strategy is more about Game Pass and less about literal exclusives. I know that some people look at that and go like, well, Xbox needs exclusives, but I don't know. I like my Xbox and I don't necessarily need it to have exclusives. I just need it to be the most convenient place to play any game that's too powerful for the Switch. I say that, I do have a new PC, so... Oh, this guy is the guy, right? I didn't realize that guy was the guy. Anyway, interesting rumor. Curious if it all comes to fruition. Groose. Groose is the guy what did it. Say through here. Gate is broken. What did he say? Groose, yeah, where is he? you go through the academy? Oh, there. Right there is the way. Not so bad. Someone opened this door at some point. Cool. Anyway, I thought that was interesting news. Speaks a lot to their strategy going forward. I hope that people enjoy those games. I mean, I heard Hi-Fi Rush sounds really good if you have rhythm. You know, I know it was really high on some people's Game of the Year list. You know, I don't have rhythm, so it's really not for me, but it is the most impressive character acting game and, like, well put together one in a minute. That's not like, you know... I want to say well put together. I don't want to say it's, like, the best, but it is, like, very original and unique, and people seem really fond of it. Sky is important later. Don't jump on the wall. Okay, water bad. See? What'd I tell you? You fall, guy appears, and says like, hey, what the fuck? Watch your step. They have a whole contingent of knights just like watching for people who accidentally jump. And are always sure to pick up pumpkins, just like in Twilight Princess. Throw. I feel like it would be a motion control thing. Ah! Up or down on this on the C stick on the right stick, C stick. What am I saying? Let's see now. There's people here.
Ooh.
People here getting in the way. We gotta find a way past. Maybe around here. Say more things. What have to do with news type things. I have to go over there. As I'm swimming and stuff, let me do another card. Did you hear about Mickey Mouse is now public domain? At least the first cartoon. What he appears in is Steamboat Willie, and the depiction of the character in that first cartoon is now public domain. Feel like there have been for generations now a law for Mickey Mouse that has kept it off the books as far as public domain goes for like the, you know, all my lifetime. But the day has finally come. Mickey Mouse, at least parts of him, are public domain, at least the 2D black and white version from that first cartoon. Hell of a thing that, you know, Disney could not stay their execution. Apparently, it's a whole meme right now. It's a whole meme right now to just post openly, oh, we need to go over here where Groose is. Okay. I thought I had to go over there, but I think this is where Groose is. People are posting the whole Steamboat Willie because it's you're allowed to. Silly meme, but kind of a fun idea. He's a big, you know, posing tough guy character, and he has some flunkies. He's a Bruto. He's a, you know, from Popeye. He's a Bruto. Bruto's Bilge Rat Barges. Brutus. Oh, I feel like I'm getting that wrong. The guy what had the Bilge Rat Barges. at Universal Studios Orlando. Bluto? He's a Bluto type. It's not that hard to remember his name. I can do it, given a couple of attempts. Crimson Lostwing was gonna go down without a fight. Don't worry about it, guys. It's cool. These are some tough guys right here. None of us have weapons, so how are we gonna fight? You can't fight without a sword. Not even in Tears of the Kingdom. There's no, like, melee attack. Yes, that is why we want to win, so we can get alone time. To fate that close up. Well, I need my bird to get second place. I forgot that his lips were yellow. He is much more of a... Nice hair. He does have nice hair. He genuinely has nice hair. I don't mean... I wouldn't use that as an insult. I think his hair is better than Zelda's hair. It suits him really well. I forgot how extra he was. Just in every way. Bring it on, dude. Bring it on. That's what we're going with. I'm gonna get a paraglider. God. He's so extra. It's great. We're cloud people! Oh, hang on. Let me move. This is a silly reason to move. But you gotta see Link's face. You gotta see Link's face in this whole proceeding. I'll move over here. Over here. Wake up. Grow a backbone already. Link's pretty cool. We're just best buddies. It's fine. I'm gonna move back here now. Maybe not. That's the best place for gameplay. Is right there. You know, it's out of the way of all the UI. But for cutscenes, we all get it. He's a little horned. He's an ass. He's like a comically. He's a total villain, total fucker. And like, look at him. He's got like his little pose there. He's so. He has good vibes. Groose has good vibes for a villain. He's so extra. It's your special flavor. There's a reason why people remember Groose in this game. He's like the one standout character. The one character that, you know, people have a good word to say about. Yeah, people have a good word to say about Groose. Of all the characters that could have came back ever, I feel like Groose is, you know, Groose could come back. I mean, I think they'd have to tone him down a lot. Maybe. To fit him in with, like, Tears of the Kingdom. But he could be like, you know, Sorlong guy. He could be, like, on that level of extraness. You know, what Groose needs is a catchphrase. Groose needs like a Sorlong. Groose needs a catchphrase. Does he have a catchphrase? I don't think he has a catchphrase. I don't know why I went up here, but go figure. So then, we sum up that scene. Groose is horny. Groose is extra. Groose is a comic book villain. Not comic book villain. He's a comic strip villain. Why don't I go to the thing and have a look there? Okay, if you say so. Video game. I feel like all I need is a sword and like the ability to cut through like you know, a bunch of sticks, and then I can go a dangerous place and save my loft wing. But maybe I have to see the loft wing before I can get a sword. Just follow that guy's advice. Meanwhile, another card here. You hear that voice actress from the anime Shangri-La Frontier, one of this season / last season's simulcast anime, they got married. Specifically the main character's voice actor and the voice actress who plays the little bunny character. That was a neat bit of like human interests I saw while, you know, coming off that last episode of that show and scrolling down and finding out that, like, oh, actually, hey. Finding out, oh, actually, hey. There's like a whole marriage that happened. Neat. Kind of makes you think when you see like those characters going back and forth. They are for real married. They are actually married, those two. Huh. I'm sure they're also in other anime, but I only heard about this in the comments, and then I read a story that specifically called out, you know, the latest show that they're in. Neat. I'll also say Shangri-La Frontier. It's good. I'm really enjoying where that show has gone. It's been a 2-core, so it's 24 episodes and it's like halfway done. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm so sorry, Link. Wanted to tell you all, but if Groose found out... No one remembers Pippet. Even though his outfit is pretty good. That's a pretty good color of, like, a tunic. Near a waterfall. Near a waterfall. That's a weird thing to say if you think about it, because they say, like, we're gonna hide him near a waterfall. Near a waterfall. Oh, which waterfall would it be? I think it's the one waterfall that's on the Sky Island. Oh? The one waterfall. Wouldn't you say the waterfall if you didn't know, like, the other waterfalls existed? Are there other waterfalls that are, like, you know, falling off other Sky Islands or like... It's like a weird way to phrase that, considering. I guess. And also, it behooves to mention, they don't know that the ground exists. I'm pretty sure is how this works. Get the sword from the back room. In a chest, probably. What I tell you? Oh, it's in these boxes? Oh no, it's in the chest. Practice sword. Cool. Right. This is perhaps like the most needed tutorial because you do need to learn how this works in this game. Now it's all stick-based and not button-based. Oh, I forgot the stamina is for your sword as well in this game. As well as running. I kind of think that's not it. Some things for stamina. Maybe I was using special attacks. Okay, yeah, normal attacks are normal attacks. It's only like those big spin moves that cause the stamina to go down. Press to do a stab. Okay. Is it just rotate the sticks? Click, click, click. Okay. Sure, I'll try a fatal blow. Up, down, up. Up, down, up. Up, down, up. I feel like that was more down, up, down. But whatever. Okay, thank you. That's actually a pretty quick tutorial. Pretty nice. Not too bad. Not too overbearing. Just right. Dude, I have to go fight bats or something in the thing. Okay, I practiced with the logs. I'm ready to go get my loft wing. We'll talk about some stuff in the meantime. Got cards. There's been a lot of anime that's aired. I have some thoughts about them. I'll say after this. There are a lot of them that aired this weekend. I am regretting my usual convention, maybe, of including separate cards for returning shows that I've watched previously. Maybe in the future I'll combine them into a single card that goes like, oh, like 3 shows are back for a second or a third or a fourth season. They're still really good. But, start! Watch the first episode of Tales of Wedding Rings. Sort of an isekai type show, sort of. Well, there's like a fantasy world and a real world. It's not a reincarnation deal, though. And the basic premise is that a regular guy from Earth gets chosen to be the husband of a princess because she really likes him. And that bestows a really powerful power upon him. And, you know, he has to fight some monsters in badly animated action. I don't know. My thought on this one is that it could be nice. I don't know. It's not that offensive. It's kind of nice. I don't mind the characters. Kind of a big nothing so far, though, I would say. I heard people describing it and saying, like, yeah, it's not even a wife guy. He's kind of nothing. At this point, I feel like the standards have been raised as far as, like, the male character even goes. Like, you do need to be pretty exuberant. You need to be a pretty big wife guy to impress some people these days. Just being a regular dude, that doesn't always cut it. It could be good. I'll watch more and see if it you know, goes anywhere interesting. It's a little bit horny in that first episode. It's fine, I guess. They are, like, actually married. So, Even if it's like, oh, it's, I had to give you the wedding ring because I needed you to save the day. We need someone to save the day, and oh, it should be you. Might as well be you. I'd rather it be you than anyone else. But ooh, are we really for real married? I don't know. Like, oh, a little bit horny. The ED kind of makes it look like it's a harem. I don't know. I can't speak to that. There's nothing in the first episode that would indicate that it was a harem, but there are multiple women in the ED, so you can the ending if you don't know what ED means. So, you know, take that for what you will. He is married to one of them, so to the one, so that probably means something. Probably means something. This is a tutorial. Not terribly exciting. Just batting away bats, slimes, putting these motion controls. I say they're not motion controls. I'm using a stick. These stick controls through their paces. 5 rupees. 20 rupees. But then, I said. Anyway, it could be fine. I feel like I probably am being too generous with a lot of shows right now. Like, I don't think any of the shows that I watched over the weekend are like instant cuts. Which I feel like there were a lot more of them in the past. Maybe the anime industry has gotten better, and it's just harder to find a really bad show where you know when you see it, oh, this gets cut. There's no reason anyone would watch this. And instead, there's a lot of shows that are very middling and very much like, oh, this is all right, kind of cute, could be a good romance. I don't know. Characters are nice. And yeah, I could see them together. Yeah. A little bit of horniness. Looks good. Let's talk about something that goes beyond that, though. Talk about the next anime, which I saw. Unless if we go past here, it's just the Loft Wing. Oh no, there's more stuff to be done. Talk about another one. Yep, nope, haven't found it yet. There's a place up ahead. Yep. Who's calling? Don't worry about it. We all get calls sometimes. I've been getting a lot of fucking spam calls today. I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, if they're something related to do with my new job, or if it's like, oh, you know, it's January. The callers are out in force right now, doing the whole spam situation. Oh, there it is. Buddy, I've got to use my motion control gimmick. Hard to cut in a different in a direction with the stick. I think it was also hard to do it in motion controls, so you know, whatever. I guess I could consider grabbing some Joy-Cons and doing it that way. You know, giving that a real try. This is my bird. I don't know if it has a name. The main gimmick of this game, other than motion controls and directional sword play, and I guess this isn't the main gimmick. This is the side gimmick. This is the gimmick that you put on the box because you can't put has motion controls for like good ones on the box. Like, that doesn't... What are you gonna do? To communicate motion controls. Yeah, it's beyond the old floor. The floor shroud. Some say there's nothing at all. Apparently it's the surface. No one's ever seen it. It'd be cool if there were people down on the surface who were, like, from Skyloft, who, like, fell down and were like, oh, yeah, I couldn't get back up, so, you know, it is what it is. I'm an adventurer. I don't think there's any such thing in this, this here game. We got our bird back. Now we gotta do a race and a little bit more plot. And then we go down to the surface. Spoilers, there is such a thing as the surface. This game isn't just all set in the sky. Imagine if it was. I feel like that would actually be a really interesting thing. You know. Maybe that'd be too obvious, you know, like Wind Waker, spoilers for Wind Waker. Wind Waker also has like a hidden realm below, but it treats it as a surprise because, you know, you wouldn't expect that to be there. Okay. You wouldn't expect that to be there. So it's sort of a surprise when it is. Whereas, you know, the surface, you would know. But wouldn't it be cool if they tried to act like, you know, 4 dungeons in's like, holy shit, there's a whole surface world. What the fuck? You can build mystery around it, and it would be kind of delicious for us as players. You know, knowing full well that, like, yeah, of course, there is a surface. We all understand the concept of surface. Is that rock not getting closer? Okay, flying great. That's good. Hello, Sparkleberry Unicorn. How's it going? Playing this game. Especially considering poor guy has been through this morning. That's right. Here comes Groose.
No.
Hey, Groose, I got my bird back. That's right. It is great. Oh, yeah? You're so stiff from working out and getting all ready for the race? You're doing good, Sparkleberry? That's good. I'm doing, alright. I'll say, like, I am just coming off my first day at the new job. So, I have had a long day. I don't know, we'll go, like, super duper late into the night. I expect not, but hoping to get at least to the surface. I would like it if I could get to a dungeon and do a dungeon. I'm not sure like how many hours in is the first dungeon, but looking to get there. I am going to get that sailcloth. Yes, I need to do that because that's how I get down to the surface. I'm pretty sure Groose also gets down to the surface, so he probably also needs a parachute. cloth. I'll say I've played this game before, so, you know, I remember what happens. Vaguely. He's being horny. I feel like the part where he's horny is the only part of the character that doesn't work for me. Like, he's so extra and fun other than that, but I don't like Zelda horniness being his main motivation at heart. I feel like that'll get better as the game goes on. Yeah, well, we're gonna beat him. Or something. I don't know. I'm not gonna guarantee that I'll beat him. But I feel like it's probably gonna happen. Probably how this works. I got this, yes. Blue Angel's ass Loftwing show to start with.
Hey!
So this is like a coming of age thing, I suppose. We have to catch the bird. No, follow that bird. It is the 25th anniversary of our fine institution. That's not very old. That's like only probably a little bit older than Link and Zelda themselves. Like, these guys did not go to this school back in their early days. Wonder how they got their training to be like, you know, island people. Sky Island people. Maybe there's other universities and islands in the canon, and this is not just the only island that exists. In principle. You know, you don't see any of that. But maybe there's more than, you know, what it literally is. Let's do it. Let's get the thing. So just like use dashes and swoop down to get speed. It seems like my bird's a lot faster than everyone else's. You should have been faster. Alright, there's throwing eggs. Because they could not just simply close the distance and get the thing. They gotta cheat. I am pretty sure now this is, like, you know, super rigged. I got the bird statue. I think I saw this image on, I was looking for, like, a thumbnail for the live stream version on the YouTube, because YouTube needed to do a live stream. And I thought about this image with the bird, because I thought the bird looked ridiculous. The bird statue. Looks like a duck, more than a Loftwing. But, ended up going with a different one. You were never that good, nor am I now. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's rigged. This is rigged. Groose is threw on purpose to make us look good. He's got our backs. He's nice, actually. Someone had to have that theory about Groose. That Groose was actually just trying to big us up with Zelda. If he wasn't so horny, I could believe it. And weird about it. Yeah. I wish that was the case. That he was just sort of trying to big us up with Zelda. Is that a thing people say? I don't think it is. My head's been hurting recently. Ugh. Took some aspirin before. Volume good? I think the volume should be good. Let me know if it's ever not. I'm thinking this is a good level for things. Alright, we got the sailcloth, which is just a parachute. Not as good as a, you know, a paraglider, but it'll do. Alright, we got a sailcloth from our lady. That's a good outfit. I like the one piece with a gem she's got there. That's a good look for her. Maybe not a one piece. Hope you get good views. Good night. Better day tomorrow. Yeah, you too. Have a good one, Sparkleberry Unicorn. I don't know what happens at the end. What happens at the end here? No. Do I get a kiss on the head? Oh, ah. Yeah, I totally thought it was, that's totally what they're getting at, like, oh, what happens now? What happens now? I feel like every time that's the scene has happened, that I've seen it in my life, I've always been like, oh, this is like they're going for the cute. They're going for like the romance angle here with that line. Like, Link is supposed to blush and look around and go like, I don't know. Smiles could be better looking animated. Little off, I guess. Seeing as you won today, with the weather being so nice. Think you'd like to fly around? I would like to get a Master Sword. And then, get down to the clouds. And then, I would like to go through a forest. I would like to meet a bunch of little guys. And then I would like to go into a dungeon and clear it out. And I would like to end on that. That would be my itinerary for today, Zelda. How does that sound? If you want to, like, fall down into the clouds right now, Zelda, that'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen here. See you later, Zelda. I'll catch you, like, I don't know how many installments of this playthrough from now. I might see you in the distance at some point in, like, I would guess 3 or 4 weeks. Hello, Christy. How's it going? Zelda just went, you know, somewhere else. And now we have to go get our special sword and go down to the surface and do some surface stuff and then dungeon. I'm hoping to get that all done tonight, as I would really like to see some good stuff. Oh, you know what? Maybe add in one more thing. Big monster. We might see big monster. That big monster. We might see big monster. Does this game make you fight big monster twice before you get to the first dungeon? I don't remember. I hope no. We'll see what happens. We'll do what we can. I do have stuff to talk about other than, you know, the game. Oh, if it's, you know, if there's like multiple boss fights and other stuff, type stuff. You like the stream? Thank you. I hope it's in good quality, and I hope you can hear me. That's right, I'm playing through a video game. And I'm gonna talk about stuff as I, you know, see fit to. Yeah, she was hearing voices. She was getting, like, text messages from God? Someone on the ground. Yeah. She was having dreams from God. Yeah, God was telling her... The goddess. I'm sorry. I should say the goddess. The goddess was telling her that she needs to go down to the surface. She is going to be fine. You know, I'll say this is not the first time I have played this game, so she'll be fine. Zelda's never not been fine in a Zelda game. Ultimately. I guess there's been a handful of times where she's been, like, kidnapped until damn near the end. Sometimes from pretty damn early. But in this case, you know, she's fine. Let's follow that sword! There's the sword. We need to follow it. Let's follow the sword. It's time to follow the sword. Suppose at this point you wouldn't know that's a sword. That, you know. Spoilers. We still have the training sword for some reason. I guess we never returned it. This is a nice moment. It's nighttime. I guess on the surface they never see the daytime because there's always clouds obscuring, you know, obscuring the ground, thus obscuring the sun. You could say. That'd be fun if you got back down there and you found out, like, oh yeah, it's been 100 years of darkness down here. Fuck up, dog. Bit of a... I think that guy's a monster. That guy was just a little wild animal. While we're walking to wherever the sword lives, I'm gonna pull another card and talk about what's on it. That's a thing I do on the stream, if you don't know. I got these cards, and in particular, I've been watching a lot of the new anime that's been coming out this season. And I have thoughts about them, and here's one. It's a good one. It's the first episode of A Sign of Affection, show on on Saturdays. I watched the first episode, which came out this last Saturday. Basic premise is that it's sort of a romantic show, comedy. I guess, like. I'll call it a romance. I don't know if it's necessarily a comedy. More of maybe a romantic drama. Anyway, the main character, she is really cute. And she you know, has some awkward interactions with, like, a stranger on a train. And, big, hunky, like, dude comes along and, you know, saves the day a little bit. And then, you know, he goes to say hi, and she, without thinking, she starts to, like, awkwardly sign back before realizing, like, oh, crap, turns out the main character is, deaf, which is a neat, angle for a show of this sort. And it seems to really consider that, it really seems very well considered as far as, like, what her perspective is on the world and, like, what her perspective is on this incipient romance. And how she navigates the world as, she goes about her business and goes about, like, you know, the process of very clearly falling in love. It also makes it so that, like, the show also very clearly, like, has the main character, like, the hunky guy, like, you know, making some moves that are forward, but also very, like, you know, very, like, understanding and, considerate of her circumstances in a way that is, like, you know, very simple, but makes for a very good lead-in on the romance, I guess, or very good, like, feels more impactful than it would be with a care without that situation, without that setup, you know. I'll say that I was really impressed and really thoroughly entertained. The characters, she's very cute. I like how worldly the hunky dude is. And he's sort of like multilingual, you know, a guy who likes to learn languages, which is neat because, hey, you know what's a language? Sign language is a language, so that's actually a really great fit, it turns out, if you think about it. You know, like, oh wow, he's totally gonna learn sign language, like, and use that to like, you know, make inroads, and she's going to be very, very touched by that. You know, it's certainly a show where, like, every little gesture, like, means a lot and is really emphasized in a way that is just really lovely. And again, the perspective of the main character is very well considered, very well thought through, and it is, I think, one of the best things on of the season so far. A sign of affection. This is Fi. Fi is the sword. We must pick up the sword. I don't remember. Oh yeah, I guess I have had dreams. Yeah, of the big fella. Yeah. I forgot about the dreams that happened several times. Why would this make me emotional? Zelda is still alive. Okay. Makes him happy. And the Spirit Maiden, the one you call Zelda, is also chosen. You should pick up the sword and do a thing. I am ready to accept the sword and proceed about my mission. Yes. I will raise sword skyward. I just flicked the stick. I didn't need to actually put it above my head. You just hold up. Goddess Sword. So this is the Goddess Sword. It's going to become the Master Sword for some reason. Eventually, I guess. There's like, in Tears of the Kingdom, there's like a moment early on, not a big spoiler by the way, it's really early on, where like you hear the Fi noise randomly. Yes, that's right. There's a secret room in here, and it let me in. What words? When the light of the goddess sword lights, the great evil will be back. Don't fear, for then it is then that the youth will reveal himself and do some stuff. Yes. You've been hanging out with the sword often? I guess this is like his secret getaway. It'd be funny if, like, there was a corner of this room that just had, like, a bunch of, like, a desk and a chair and, like, a hammock that the Gaepora set up here so he could, like, you know, chill and shit. Maybe a corner with a bunch of books in it. Because what's he doing in here? He's just, like, sitting on the floor reading a book? I guess he's like the headmaster, you know, he's not allowed to be like it's like the Dawn doesn't wear shorts, Sopranos situation. Where like the Dawn of like the New York family that appears in Sopranos says to Tony Soprano, like, a Dawn doesn't wear shorts. Talking about how Tony puts on cookouts and wears shorts during that. I don't know. Does Gaepora wear shorts? Does Gaepora wear shorts? Getting some options for the name of this of the archive. Does Gaepora wear shorts? Groose needs a catchphrase. I'm sure there was something in there about a bird. We're gonna go beyond the clouds. It's cool. We got tablets. Okay, so there's another step here. We need to put the tablet in a thing. Okay, great. It's just right there. We get one of those each time we need to go to a new place. There's not that many, so that's good. I guess it's telling that whenever I talk about stuff like that, my first thing I say is like, well, there's not that many, so it's good. If there were that many, would it be bad? Well, I guess I wouldn't say that, you know, there's open world Zelda games where there's a lot of, you know, different, similar collectibles. But in this case, I think there's just 3. And it's a bit of a hassle to get each one, but I think we'll manage. I know we'll manage. Of course. Not tonight. All of it, but, you know, at a normal rate. Oh, we can skip that. Yes? Cool. Okay. I'll do that. Perfect. That's right, where we have roles to play, as does the third corner of the Triforce, which, you know, doesn't seem to exist in this time. Interesting. Okay. I got it. You do your people proud. Thank you. It has been a long night. You know, that wasn't so bad of an opening. I say that wasn't so bad. That's maybe a bit negative. I don't know. I feel like it was a slower start for Twilight Princess before it really got going, but also it is worth considering that we haven't gotten to the surface yet. There's a whole surface area we have to go through before we can go to the thing. Yes, that's right. This is the main colors of Link. Okay. Peace. Take it easy. Did they change the... Oh, well, it's still a ring. But you know how many items are going to be in the ring, so it's not like in Twilight Princess original, where it's like a ring of mystery length. Probably a grid is just better than like a circle. Hey, buddy. That's right, I am doing that. Thank you for the pouch, that is important. It's for side items. Potions and shield and such. Yeah, we need to do that. Let's go get some items. And I won't necessarily like... Thinking about as I go where the timestamps are gonna go. Getting the sword and getting items, it'll probably be something like next timestamp will be when we go down to the surface. I would hazard a guess. And then after that, ooh, I would like it if the next timestamp could be dungeon time. I don't usually announce timestamps in advance. Or really talk about that step. It's not really something that's publicly facing. Doesn't do to concern yourself with that ahead of time, I guess. Though I do sometimes talk about you know, titles. What'll go on the VOD. Hey, buddy. Oh, I don't like this character design that much. Not a winner. I'm glad that that guy didn't come back ever. These guys seem cool. Oh, I don't like this guy. He looks like a giant baby with how small his face is. I don't like that. I think this guy is cool. I like his mask. He has good energy. And his music is good. He's the best. If we're talking like a tier list of dudes here, he's top tier. Mid tier. These two low tier. Anyone else here? Get a potion, or do we need a bottle to get a potion? Okay, cool. An empty bottle. So, blue is not ready. Red is heart. Green would be stamina. What are these two? Okay, I don't need shield repair. Can't afford that one. Yeah, sure, why not? Pick up some heart potion. Alright. We're ready to go here. We don't have a bomb bag, and we don't have an arrow. So all of those are right out. There is also Beetle's shop, which I'm sure we'll see in a later stream, but not tonight. Let's go to the surface. go. Here's another card while we're headed there. I watched the first episode of the new season of Mashley, Magic and Muscles Season 2. Fun episode, not like the best, but it has some good gags in it, and it seems like Mashley is very over his head. I'll say, for my part, I feel like I have about as much understanding of the nonsense he has gotten himself into as Mashley does. But whatever, so long as there's a lot of good opportunities for Mashley to do his shtick, which is to fake his way through magic school by using feats of strength. He's sort of a, he can't do any magic, but he is strong enough to perform feats of strength that are basically as close as you could get to magic. Like, sheer brute force. Good example would be, oh, he can, you know, he can't use a broom normally, but he can't kick his feet fast enough to stay in the air. So that's fun that he can just do that. Superhuman, kinda. It's a very funny, goofy, dumb show. I'm looking forward to seeing season 2 in full. You got it. I hit the button. Fine, you can lay off. If you want, you can just deploy the sailcloth every time. I'm okay with that. And you could do it like as soon as like as late as humanly possible. This is the sealed grounds. Welcome to Earth. We might have to fight a big scaly monster guy right now, maybe? Or maybe we could just roll right into the first area. I forget. I do know that you have to fight that guy in the middle too many times. This thing is covered in gook. Time for the gimmick of this game. They also run the surface. Stabbing in a specific direction. Enemies will, you know, be vulnerable in one way, but not the other way. This guy has a vertical mouth. That one has a horizontal mouth. See how that works? That's a little bit annoying, honestly. I feel like people at the time were more excited about that for the original release than, you know, in recent years, like when the remake came out, when the re-release hit. I feel like all the hype had eked away from, oh, you directionally soared. I guess, you know, mixing it up in this way gave them the confidence they need to, like, you know, further go away in, like, a different direction for Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild, which is probably for the best. Even though it does have a lot of the charm of the original game, you know. You just still don't have, like, the traditional sword stuff of Ocarina at this point, you know. It's all been replaced by new versions of everything, pretty much. Okay, let's go in there then. Okay, we gotta go down and sword that thing. The first time this is happening, so, you know, I shouldn't act like it's all ho-hum, old business. But it is kind of ho-hum. It is kind of old business. This is the kind of thing that maybe should have had like 2 or 3 instances in the game. I feel like even 3 would be too many. Hey, it's got the pearl designs on the different sides of the pillar. Isn't that interesting? What? Okay, we can douse for Zelda. Okay. Cool. I really thought we were gonna have to fight a guy there. That's good. I don't really like fighting that guy very much. You know, from my previous times through this game. Door now open. Cool, door now open. Let's talk to whoever is within. We'll be on our way. Card? Let's talk to whoever's within. No one's here. There's a place in this game where a thing happens. I do think that thing was a little bit underwhelming. Or rather, not as big as it could be. I guess Wind Waker also has a similar, you know, thing where, oh crap, this opened up, but it's not as big as it might seem on its face. Oh, there's Impa. Hey, hey. That's right, I'm from above the clouds. How you do? I'm Link. That's right, I do that. Okay. Okay. Was not meant to come here this way. Okay, that's fine. She'll be good. Faron Woods? Okay, you got it. Well, I think I'm good. I don't really know I need to set a beacon. You really want to be that precise? I mean, I guess I can just always move the stick a little bit. How's that? Are you happy? Okay. Well, let's do another card. I got too many of them tonight, I'll say. That's not the right one. The hell? That shouldn't be there. It's in the wrong order. What the hell? Let me check something real fast. That's supposed to be another anime card. Did I accidentally... Oopsie daisy. Yeah, I accidentally put that one in the wrong order. Whoops. That's later. There, when I renamed it, got all screwy. Perfect. I'll fix that real fast. Ba-ba-ba. First episode of Solo Leveling. I watched the first episode of Solo Leveling, which is apparently one of the shows people went into the season looking for. Apparently, it's pretty popular. I'll say I don't quite get it as of yet. Seems kind of dark. Seems kind of violent. Seems like there's some stuff going on with the main character being, sort of underpowered in a world that is extremely dangerous, and that seems like it could be interesting. They kind of explained that there is no leveling in the world apparently, so I don't quite understand what exactly solo leveling means yet, but my guess is that it's just a case where they haven't gotten to the twist yet, and next week it'll start to make sense and maybe become good. Like, actually good in a way that, like, makes you want to keep watching. Feel like it needed, like a special extra long first episode, honestly. And that would have helped a lot to get it off the ground, you know? It could also be that I don't end up liking it, and maybe I've heard some people say something to the effect of like, oh, the reason that's popular is because it has really good art. And it's like webcomic form. And, well, if it's now being adapted into a medium where it doesn't have the same art to muster, like, yeah, it might not be the hottest. I don't know. Could be good. I want to watch more before I make the decision, and want to let it get to its hook, to its trick.
Hey.
Okay, so the statue at the start wasn't activated because I need to activate this statue, which is supposed to be the statue that activates all other statues. So saith the lore. I guess. I don't know why it had to be this contrived.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. People ride birds. And, yes. True. False? Maybe. I don't know about magic wildflowers. It probably is pretty nice. Sure, keep going. Okay. Didn't have any more. And now they're all activated. I guess that was so that you couldn't just return to the sky after landing. You gotta continue to do other stuff before...
Hey.
That's a thing. I feel like you could show them a show here, by going up to the sky. See ya, dude. Oh, hey, we're in the forest. No, we're not. We're right outside the forest. Go into the forest and, Call me anytime you would like to use an amiibo. I don't think I have the amiibo for which activates a thing. It was not included like the one for Twilight Princess back in the day, Wait. Well, yeah, this is also a digital game, so it wouldn't be like Twilight Princess, which I have the HD, which I have the physical copy of. Because, back then, I don't know, I wasn't really the kind to trust that the Wii U digitally would be, like, trustworthy. And I bet, like, the marketplace will probably go offline, like, within, a year or two, right? and you won't be able to get Wii U games anymore. I bet it won't be too long until that, and we will all be glad that we have physical Wii U copies. Faron Woods, here we are, Faron Woods. Let's do Faron Woods stuff. We got Faron Woods to do. Good, I think we're making good pace. Yeah, what we need to do is to find a little guy, and he's gonna help us go a place. And then once we can go a place, we can do a thing and do a dungeon. Ah, the ultimate goal in any Zelda game, to go do a dungeon. Well, the most recent two, it's actually kind of better to not do dungeons that often. But, it gets away with that because it's better in every respect. In addition to, you know, the stuff outside the dungeon is really good in the most recent Zelda. The way that makes glowing reviews of these games. Man, like they have their work cut out for them now. Like they do a game like this again, you know, before the next Zelda, or after Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Like they're not gonna get the same reception they got for this game, where everyone was like, "Oh, it's really good. It's actually really solid. It might be one of the best ones." Like, no, it's not. That's not gonna happen again if they don't nail it, you know? If they go back to the old Ocarina style, they need to make, like, the best one. I would hazard a guess it's gonna be something more new than that, though. These are funny little guys. I'm a good guy. I'm human. Can we climb up that or nah? Yeah, we can. Just barely. Let's do another card. Watch the first episode of The Strongest Tanks Labyrinth Raids. A tank with a rare 9999 resistance skill got kicked from the hero's party. Seems alright. I don't know. Whoopsie daisy. Wrong button. Is that too? Seems alright. I don't know. I'll say it's a little bit unremarkable. You know, there's another Banished from the Hero's Party type show this season that's a better one of those. Because the basic thing seems to be like, oh, he got banished from the hero's party, so he's gonna go continue doing tank stuff, but in a new party. Okay. Or maybe as a solo agent. Okay, whatever. That's fine. He finds out that he has a stronger ability than he thought. His ability is very strong. Okay, sure. Whatever. That's cool. And also, he met, like, a cool girl who is, like, some sort of highly advanced automata, but secretly so. There's maybe some politics going around on there, too, with, like, the world being, you know, not so tolerant of such things. He's, like, a little homunculus or whatever. Well, she seems nice. He seems nice. The action is okay, I think? Trying to remember if it was okay. Fine. It seems like my takeaway would be, could be fine, I don't know. It kind of just seems like the concept doesn't do much with the whole idea of being banished. Like, kind of just doing more adventuring after being kicked out of a party. Like, what exactly is, it's not exactly the highest concept. Hey, buddy, you ready to talk now? I'm just a normal person. Should have gotten into camouflage mode first. I'm a good guy. Was it Zelda? Yeah, you wouldn't know her. Was it a lady with blonde hair? Yep. Okay, so I could douse for okay. Douse for that guy. Make a little bit of a shortcut here. What's a thing? Ugh. Alright, here's another card. Let's do another card. Why in the fuck not? Watch the first episode of The Dangers in My Heart, Season 2. Cute little show about about a bunch of kids, like middle school age kids who sort of have like a weird relationship, which is romantic and cute and good. Kind of fun. The main character is sort of an edgelord. He's like a little bit of a edgelord type, and he has a clear thing for like a big, goofy, a big, beautiful girl who is kind of just a big dork in a way that is like fun. She's like realistically a dork, like, oh, she's immature in a way that is like that is normal, right? Like she's a big dorky gal, a little bit of a. It's a fun character, her being like, oh, she's a model and stuff, but also she is just a very special individual, and the boy, he finds himself drawn to her. The first episode of the new season was fun. I forgot what happened at the end of the last season, and I guess that main boy has an injury, and he has to like the girl helps him out with that, not having the use of his hand. Good starting point for like, some fun antics, stuff with the side characters. They're getting more and more clued in. They're like, oh, hey, you guys have something going on, you two. Like, you are actually pretty close now, aren't you? Pretty close these days. Isn't that interesting? And also, the first episode ended in a really good place. For like, oh crap, something pretty cool is about to happen. Where it's at. Which is pretty exciting. Gonna be a good season of that. I'll say, like, between Ashley and this, I do think so far, like, their first seasons were generally more impressive. But also it is the first episode, they're just starting back up. I'm sure they'll get to some fucking heights by the end. It's funny because like shows like that show and Meshley, they're both like S tier favorite shows. So to see them back and be like, oh yeah, it's maybe not the best thing on, but still damn good. Makes me feel like makes me wonder if I had it right. I don't know. I do believe I did have it right, but makes me wonder, like, well, is it going to be another S tier this season, or is it just going to be like more A+? No, or just A. Very possible default. Seems like it's not hitting it out of the park every season. Here is another card. I was wondering if we'd have like time for cards, but kind of just going through an area right now. Perfect time to just talk through all these anime what existed. I watched the first episode of the second season of Banished from the Hero's Party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. Season 2. This is the premiere Banished from the Hero's Party type anime. Because the thing what happens is when the main character is banished, he goes ahead and he doesn't just get banished. He also lives a slow life and opens up like a little potion shop, and it's very sweet and swell. Oh, he also like moves in with a cute girl that a beautiful lady that he met in his travels long ago. You know, like traveling the world and stuff. And they get like a very sweet relationship going, and it's great. It's a very warm show, the first season of, and it's been a lovely thing. The second season has been so far with that first episode. I'll say like it was kind of weird because one of the major things that happened at the end of the first season, slight spoilers, is that the hero's party sort of broke up, or some such, you know. And the hero is actually the main character's sister, and at the end of the season, she moves in to the countryside slow life thing. And the second season, the focus seems to be like, oh hey, we got this great new character. Well, not new character, but now she is getting to enjoy life too. Isn't that swell? And also, yes, the couple is still a great couple. They're clearly, you know, very serious about it. And they're on like a fun adventure with their new characters and new friends. And that's gonna be a good time, I think. I guess I should follow the douse. We'll do a thing. I reckon it's right there. On that little hill. Oh yeah, there he is. I was wondering if we could roll those boulders, but maybe. Oh. Well, we can run up this slope. That's fine. Anyway, that show. Glad to have it back. Should be good. Should be good stuff. Yeah. I'll say I quite enjoyed the first episode. Of the new shows that have come back that I mentioned today, I was perhaps the most just like drawn in, most like, oh, I remember why this was good. And also the most impressed as far as like, oh, right, they have new characters now that can play a major role. And the OP is like entirely the sister. It's kind of weird when you watch it and you go like, wait, is she now the main character? Is this how it's happening? And I don't think that's the case. It's just that like, no, well, I don't know. We wanted to emphasize the sister because she's cute. And she has like a rogue friend who is also cute and cool. I'll say like, okay, well, the brother was also pretty nice. And his girlfriend, oh, she is, you know, sort of the original attraction. I say the original attraction. She's like the original selling point. Yeah, that's a weird thing to say. She's like the original, like... She's just as quality of a character. And, you know... as the sister is, so why not also put her front and center? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Sometimes OPs, EDs, they focus on just a single character. And there doesn't have to be a reason for it other than, like, I thought it would be a little bit different. Yeah. We're gonna have to talk to the guy and do a thing. One more before we talk to the guy. Sure, let's try to do one more before we talk to the guy. I watched the first episode of The Seventh Time Loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life, married to her worst enemy. I think this is also one of the standout shows of the season, actually. The basic concept is that the main character, she's like a villainous type, but not really. I think the idea is that she was framed or whatever. Hey, Bucha. Yeah? No one remembers Bucha from this game. I need to find 3 more of those guys before we can go to the dungeon. Okay. Nope, I got it. Anyway, the basic premise is that the main character, she dies and appears back, you know, back in her past, and she's like, yeah, whatever. You know, she comes back to a pivotal moment where the guy is, her fiance is like, oh, fuck you, I'm annulling our engagement. You know, she's like a royal. She's like a member of the nobility. And she says, okay, whatever, see ya. And it turns out this is her 7th time loop. She's been around the horn 7 times. And the show then, like, explains in the first episode, like, how she spent each loop, like, you know, living life, experiencing stuff, learning, and, you know, getting out there and living, like, various lives of various sorts. To the point where it kind of reminds me, she kind of reminds me most of, like, someone playing the Elder Scrolls Oblivion or Skyrim, multiple characters and role-playing each time, and like, oh, this time I'm gonna get into swords. This time I'm going to, you know, figure out this whole, like, spell crafting thing, where you make your own spells. What's up with that? Is that cool? Let's deuce. This time I'm gonna do this, this time I'm gonna do that. And I'll say, like, throughout this first episode, it is fascinating. Like, oh wow, what did you do on your first iteration? What did you do on your second? Ooh, how did the third go? And it runs through those pretty quickly before setting up what is, I think, a genuinely good twist to like, you know, how the 7th loop is gonna go. Which, to be absolutely fair to it, you know, was a twist for me, because I did not truly internalize the title of the show, which does say she gets married to her greatest enemy. That's what the title of the show is. If you look too closely at it and like, oh, well. I feel like 7th time loop maybe would have been enough, but, hey, that's light novel titles for you. They get long. They get unwieldy. Anyway, I so far think it's a goddamn winner. I think that character is just really cool. And I really love how, you know, through her iteration, she's gained, like, a broad base of skills. And, you know, I look forward to seeing, like, more characters recognize those skills in her and go like, oh, hey, when did you learn to use a sword? When did you learn, you know, medicine? When did you learn the basics of, like, deductive reasoning? whatever the fuck, you know, all these various skills that she has picked up through her various iterations. And also, I'm looking forward to seeing, like, what's going on with the 7th iteration in particular. Now, I will say, the show cannot keep up the pace that it's on now. You know, it went through 6 iterations in one episode. 7th is gonna be like the entirety of the whole show, I'm pretty sure. But I'm still pretty confident, pretty trusting that it'll be high quality. Whatever happens with wherever it goes from here. 7th time loop. It's a winner. I'm gonna have to say hello, guy. Your boss wants me to... Guys are not the most convincing stealth dudes. Okay, there's no more grass, so say hello. Your name is Urla. Bye. Another card. I also watched the first episode of Mr. Villain's Day Off. Basic premise there is that there's a villain. He, like, works for an evil Sentai organization, you know, like, the kind of what the Power Rangers would fight, basically. You know, and, the show, at least so far, takes place exclusively on his day off, where, you know, instead of doing evil stuff, he goes to the zoo, or goes shopping for food, or, you know, other such normal things. And he's still kind of intimidating when he does, because he's a big, tall, kind of scary man. But he's kind of chill on his day off, anyway, mostly. Seems fine, I don't know. It seems like a very fine show. It's not a premise that's like, you know, we haven't seen before. There have been shows that have had, like, oh, what's the normal life of these like, Sentai villains? Where do they, like, hang out? And where do they grocery shop? That seems just like a perfectly competent one of those. I do wonder, you know, as more characters are introduced, like, how exactly it, like, expands and such. But, I don't know. I guess it should be fine. I'll say so far it's not the most impressive show in the world. It's not, like, the best show in the world. But it could be fine. I feel like my favorite character was the convenience store clerk, who was, very intimidating, but also, like, very clearly, like, invested in whether her customers found, you know, ate similar candies to what she enjoys. Oh, that's not a guy. You're just an enemy. It'd be funny if some of these did have, like, that head, because that's a good, genuinely good camouflage, that. So yeah, it seems like it could be okay. I don't know. It's a little light. I feel like with a lot of these shows, I'm just, like, putting off the decision until such time as I see, like, how many shows are out this season. How many shows are out this season. And how many I'm expecting to, like, really get into. And how many per day, particularly, the mix ends up being. You know, I don't like to have too many on a day, especially since, you know, I will be working. And, not out of the the home every day, so bit of a thing to find time for going forward. We'll calibrate, we'll figure it out, and you know, it'll be a whole thing. I always like to have a few new things to watch every night. So, you know, I don't want to ever cut any day down to 0, generally. But there is a limit to, like, oh yeah, well, no day can probably get more than 5 or 4. That'd be too many. That's getting there. Unless they're all really, really good. The more shows that are on a day, the higher the standards get. For shows. It's definitely around there. The higher the expectation, the higher the better it has to be to, like, make the cut. That said, if you're the only one on a day, kind of get to be middling quality. You know, I value having something versus a lot over having nothing. That said, an empty day lets me catch up on other stuff. Lets me focus more on the stream and the channel. Definite upsides too. How do I get over there? Tree. Tree? Yeah, that'll be it. Tree. I need to go over to where the guy is. No. Do a thing. Another card. Watch the first episode of 'Tis Time for Torture, Princess. One of the shows that came on today. Watched the 3 of them before starting the stream tonight. You know, in order to, like, I wanted to talk about them. And I could have watched 2 of them and then started the stream at the regular time, but I kind of wanted to get all the Monday shows done at once. And, you know, have all my thoughts here right now. Or is it just saying, like, I watched 2 out of the 3, and they seem good. 'Tis Time for Torture, Princess. Is maybe the best of them. It's got a great little... It is very much a one-gag show. Sort of like, the most comparable show, I think, is, the most comparable show would be Sleepy Princess and Demon Castle, where it's a very similar concept. You know, okay, you got a demon. There's a demon war, the war with the demons. There's a princess who has become captive, you know, kidnapped and all. And there's gonna be jokes around the concept of a prisoner and a cute, fun princess. Basically, the premise is like, okay, we got this princess. She won't talk. It's time now to engage in torture, and it's very clear that you know, that's a joke. Pretty quick, like, you know, and it's like, okay, what constitutes torture? I'll tell you the first example, which is that the first example, which is that out of an Iron Maiden comes like a piece of toast, and the evil folks who are kind of, you know, fun designs. They're nice to look at. Right, left stick to balance. The main evil guys, they tempt the princess with a piece of toast, and she just reacts big. She, you know, her sword is you know, really supportive and is like, oh, the princess will never yield to that. And she says, oh, it looks so good. What? No, 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 I didn't mean that, I didn't mean that. She a lot of big reactions and a lot of cute stuff, and it seems like the joke is that every time she will succumb and give up some intel, and also invariably every time the intel will have no effect. At least that seems to be the joke of it. So, you know, it's just a fun show where like a character is tempted and consistently gives in and you know, has a good time with the delight that is being dangled before them. You know, there's a little literal line in the first episode where they say like, you know, like, oh, we got our information. You're not gonna get one piece of toast. You're going to get a toast party. Yay! And they have a toast party, and it's clear that they're having a great time, you know, post giving up a vital piece of intel. It's cute and fun, and I think I like it. And why is the guy in the tree? To like roll into it or something? How do I roll? Okay. No one explained how to roll, but I figured it out. Clicking in the left stick. Okay, Lupsa. Okay, bye-bye, dude. Whatever. One more of these creatures to wrangle up. And then we'll be on our way to the dungeon. Great. Anyway, I do think of the 3 shows that aired today, 'Tis Time for Torture is probably the most immediately like, oh, this is good. It's kind of, again, like Sleepy Princess. The joke, it's a lot more like unflexible, and it's like, oh, it so far has had the same setup, the same like the same comic beats every time, but it's funny every time. And hey, maybe over time more characters will be introduced, more stuff will come into play. There seems to be some flashbacks with like before the before times, you know, when she was like in the army and such, fighting on the front lines, which I guess that could be like a backstory to explain like how she came here, or could just be just setting the table for like, oh yeah, she was once considered by all to be the coolest person ever. Now she's in jail, like pogging over toast. Maybe saying it has one joke is not giving it as much credit as it deserves, but it does that joke very, very, very well. This Vine situation kind of blows. Don't think there's any other way out of here, so gotta use the Vine. Another card. Watch the first episode of Hokkaido Girls. Hokkaido Gals are super adorable. Very basic show so far. The premise is that a guy moves to Hokkaido and meets a gal, a Garyu, a Gyayu, you know, like a trendy girl, like a girl who's all glitzed out and stuff, you know, bejeweled and all that. Not like bedazzled. She's a trendy girl, super into fashion, that sort of thing, and she's very forward, and he is very like embarrassed, but seems like, yeah, it's pretty clear where that's going. I don't know if it like will just be that same level of like, oh yeah, we're like close. Oh wow, she's closer. She's so forward. I don't know if it's gonna be like that and him getting embarrassed like all the time, or if eventually they like say, you know, date. And also there clearly are like a bunch of other characters that are gonna appear in the show later, so that's okay. But I do think the characters are alright. I do think its biggest thing that it focused on a lot so far is just the fact that it's set in Hokkaido and it's very cold there. Did you know Hokkaido is cold? That's sort of like the big thing that it hangs its hat on. Is like, oh, a bunch of Hokkaido is cold scenarios, which, you know, okay. You can't get that in just any romance, rom-com situation thing. You know, like, oh. And you can do some stuff with it as well. They do some stuff with it. Like, oh, I didn't know that people wear blankets, bring blankets to class in Hokkaido on account of it's so cold. Wow, I wish I had brought a blanket. Here you go. Here's my blanket. You can use my spare. Oh, wow. Isn't that nice? Cool, popular girl. I say popular. I don't know that Garyus are like a clique, same as any other clique, with a similar level of, like, I don't know if they're probably outgoing, so they probably are popular also as well. Yeah. Hang on. The hole. Guess it's the hole. Oh, there's a guy with that leaf on his back. That fern on his back. Okay. Anyway, it's a little insubstantial as these shows go so far, but I don't know, it could be fine. The ED looks very cute. I'm sort of curious about the other girls that get introduced as it goes forward. I'm gonna watch more and, you know, I'll cut it if it doesn't, you know, really impress once it gets, like, more time to set up more characters and get more things in motion. Ooh. I got one more show to talk as far as, like, shows what's first episodes I have seen. Watch the first episode of The Foolish Angel, Dances with the Devil. On paper, seems like a cute enough concept. There's a devil, goes to school, clearly is instantly enamored by a character who is, you know, an angel. And just by the premise, it seems like it's kind of a cute thing where they get to date or something. I'll say, like, that's my first impression. That's, like, what I thought it would be. It is a little bit more darker than that, insofar as, like, oh yeah, they are at odds, like, you know, their nation, and also, it's not like they're just going to date out of nowhere, without, like, you know, putting aside their differences, which I don't think is the idea here. It's something else. It's just, like, there's some fighting. The fighting looked really good, actually. And some cute stuff. I think this one is good. I really enjoyed watching the first episode of it. And, I'm gonna say it's good. I feel like of the anime that I put in my, like, yeah, I'll watch this, I'll commit to this, it's the one I have most, like, pause about. But I thought it was, but I did enjoy, like, every part of the show. And, every part of the show. I did enjoy what it was laying down, and I'm looking forward to, seeing more. Like I lost my train of thought there. Cool. Haven't stayed, making good time though. Hey, we're like 2.5 hours in. We're about to go to the dungeon. Sure. About par for a stream like this. Compared to like Twilight Princess, that's about on track. go. Solid season of anime so far. I think there's like a handful of things that are standing out so far, you know. Slingshot. Important item. Doing stuff with. If I had to say, okay, I'll be able to do stuff with that. Perfect. Okay. Cool. Cool. If I had to say the top shows of the season, I would say Gushing Over Magical Girls. Warning, that one is quite porny. And I say porny and not horny because it is beyond horny. It is officially into horny territory. And also is entirely uncensored if you like that sort of thing. On High Dive. But it's also really, 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 really good, I'll say. Like, impressively, I don't think I've ever seen anything this horny that was this compellingly done, short of, like, you know, HBO type stuff, you know, like Sopranos or something of the sort. Or a sexposition scene of Game of Thrones when Game of Thrones was good. Guess that's comparable somewhat. Well, that's what we had to do. Door over on the other side had nothing to do with it. Like every time I played this game, I thought it was the door that was like locked with a mysterious seal. That maybe it's not even like memorable enough for people to know what I'm talking about. But there was like a door top of the hill that's just like sealed up. I thought it was that. Gushing, Delicious in Dungeon is up there as well. I think Sasaki and Peeps, really good. And a sign for the a sign of affection. It's gotta be up in that upper echelon as well. There was only one show so far that I cut like immediately after watching. I'm sure that I will cut like a good deal of the shows where I am tentative on as soon as there's like other competition for them. But so far, I'm happy to just let it ride and, you know, watch it as it comes. I like having things to watch. An everlasting treadmill of things to watch is my preference. And that's how, you know, simulcast do. You know, there's a new episode every week. And if you watch something on every day of the week, every night you'll have something new to get into. Hey buddies, leave me alone. Anyway, that's the anime, that's the end of anime talk. Good to get it out of the way, so I say get it out of the way. I'm happy to do 2 streams a week, so I can always have, I can always keep it so that I'm not like, you know, say I couldn't do a stream until Friday. It would be a lot to talk about in one span on Friday, especially with, like, additional shows that are starting up this week, of which there's a decent number, like a decent number, starting up rest of the week. I don't have exact figures, but seemed like quite a few would be an accurate assessment. Not the way. This shortcut. I think after this, I'll retire before too long. You know, go to sleep. Probably like have, you know, like a bath. I like to have a bath. I'll probably try to watch one episode of anime if I'm not too tired. I imagine going forward, I'll say I'll probably try to not watch all anime before starting the stream. Like I said, like I wanted to watch those new shows because I wanted to have something to say about them tonight rather than, you know, Friday. I'll say I'm also doing a stream on Thursday, but I expect that to be pretty just, you know. Thursday and Friday are so close together, it's kind of easier to just save things to talk about for the Friday stream without getting too heavy into such things for Thursday. No, I can just rearrange the cards a little bit and maybe change some out, and that actually mostly makes it good enough, I think, for a new stream. But I like to have entirely new, what was that? Nuts. We went in the right direction. Oh. We obviously gotta go into that dungeon and do it to completion. Again, glad to do it. Glad to get there. A lot of enemies are like little combat puzzles. Hey, this rock said that if you hit it with a skyward strike, it goes up to the sky. Oh, Jesus, brother. You didn't even wait for me to explain the mechanic. The text say, if you find him, shoot him. I will do that. If I find one of those things, I will hit it with my sword thing, and it'll be, just like that. Take a quick drink. I feel like my lips get parched, get like all chapped really easily. Just cases where I have to talk like all day. Not even all day. I was, you know, first day, new job. Talked a lot today. Feel like by the end of that day I was chapped. Same way I would be at the end of a really long stream. I was wondering, like, is that just how my body is now? Is that just the thing that I have gotten into that I wouldn't necessarily be how it worked in the past? Oh no. Don't really understand. Hey, it's the Forest Temple. This here, Forest Temple. Let's go inside. Okay. Crap. How do we go inside then? Let me in. There's like a side entrance hidden around here. I can hit that box with my beam. What if I hit it with my sword? What if I... Ah, there we go. Switch on the ceiling. Okay. Forest Temple. Let's go. Let's do it. For real, this... Yeah. Yep. Dungeon. Hey! We're in an actual dungeon. This is the good part of the game. This is the part that people love. That everyone loves. These dungeons are like top tier. Maybe not this one. Maybe this one is like an introductory dungeon. Skyview Temple. I thought they called it the Forest Temple. I guess it's the Skyview Temple, and it's in the forest. Yeah, don't worry about it. The one that we encountered earlier could have been one of these that don't let you go up to the sky. I guess, though, they want to let you go up to the sky in that area later. This is sort of a spidery dungeon. There's a lot of spider web. That's like the main gimmick. Hey, I do have more cards. Do one. Had Shake Shack for the first time. Yeah, a few days ago, I saw a Shake Shack when I was out shopping for the cable for the DisplayPort thing, and I saw a Shake Shack, and I said, "Oh shit, I don't think I've ever gone there." Apparently, they sell like a avocado burger. I tried that. Good. Not bad. I didn't mind their sauce so much. It definitely adds like more taste than I typically like, but not bad. Went well with like dipping into ketchup. What I need to do is I need to try their shakes. Try their shakes or something. That's like half their name. Is that like that's kind of a funny thing to do, I guess. They Steak and Shake, and also it like put so much effort on the shake. It's almost as if they want to say like, hey, when you get a burger, you also get some ice cream. Like, okay, well, that makes sense. Now, if I wasn't having it for lunch, I probably would have a shake. It wasn't in like a, I didn't have plans. I did. It was a Saturday that happened. Anyway, good shit. Oh yeah, I see. Get all spinny. Good. I've never had Chipotle. Is that unusual? I'll say, the new job, they were comparing some of the like cafeteria food, court food. Like, oh, there's a place that's like Chipotle. And I said I never had Chipotle. And then Chipotle came up later again. People are surprised, perhaps, that I've never had Chipotle, don't know really even what kind of food it is. Like if it's Tex-Mex or like its own thing. Unclear. Not really that concerned. Really need to know exactly what Chipotle is. Maybe it's nothing at all. Maybe it's just like whatever you want it to be. Brand is just a name, you know? Make their own sort of food that doesn't fall into any real category. I don't know. I'm just talking off my ass here. Again, never been to one. Vaguely even know like what exactly they got. Just have very little conception of it. Where are you going? This is the start. Another card. Thinking we'll be eating breakfast before anything going forward. Working from home for a while, I fell into some habits where, like, I would just roll right out of bed into a meeting, like, first thing. Now with the office being a lot more of a thing, I am thinking now that this schedule will be more just, you know, eating, then traveling, and then work. Which I think will be a much better thing than just work. Let me see if I can fit in a meal here. Yeah, I have some eggs, like, a couple hours into work, then some lunch maybe sometimes into that. I'll say, you know, since I haven't been at my previous job was like months ago, but it's been a while since I was at my previous job, but I still have been in a very catch-as-can as far as breakfast goes. You know, not always having it. My sleep schedule has often been like made that feel weird. You know, like, this is late. It's late night. I know or it's like late in the afternoon, the evening. But I just got up. Is it time for the eggs? No? Okay. 2 doors lead left and right, but they will only open when gemstones are struck. Gemstones are struck. One below and one behind. Is that a riddle? There's the below. I flooded the shit. Oh, you can't hear. Do a thing over here. Oh. Oh, I'm getting tired. Gotta push through. Power through. Good rule of thumb. Here's another food/work related thing. That's not true. That's not the order they're in. Okay. I'm again confused about the order. Just have a look. That card that was misplaced is still in there, right? Probably just got a weird position in the sets. Oh, whoopsie. I completely... Yes. Okay. It was supposed to be this one here. I usually don't misorder these. Looking back on the early days of the first job, what I had, which I'll say it went on for a while. I was 10 years at the previous job, which had an odd amount of IKEA. I was thinking about this as I was leaving, the job, and also that sort of influenced my thoughts and made me go like, you know what I'm in the mood for coming out of the new job? IKEA. Let's go get some Swedish meatballs. So I got some Swedish meatballs, and they're good. The Swedish meatballs are. I'm thinking back, like, the first week or 2 or 3 of my original first job that I ever had out of college. You know, was an exciting time, and as I got out of the office every day, I would immediately like I don't have a key yet. Looks to me like it's gotta be in this room, right? I would immediately every night, I'll say like the first couple weeks, I was commuting pretty far because I didn't have my own apartment for, you know, just like fresh out of college. But basically I spent a lot of time thinking about like, oh, you know, I gotta furnish a place, I gotta move out. And so I just, every night after work, and keep in mind I had like a multi-hour commute, especially during rush hour. It was like an hour and a half maybe to get from Arlington to McKinney, basically. Basically that was the commute. That was what I was looking at back in 2013, roundabout there. But anyway, I would drive back, I would stop by the IKEA, and I would just go through the whole cycle, and I would look at all the furniture, and I would think, and I would compare, and I would go like, oh, what do I want for my new place? What's the couch? What's the bed? What's the other pieces of furniture? That's just a really nice time of, you know, looking at everything, what I could do, and figuring out like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and it all worked out really, really damn well. That was a fun thing. Also, Swedish meatballs are fucking tasty. See the one over. One is above, one is below. We got the below. Where's the above? Could it be in this room? I'm open to suggestion, Sword. Give me a hint. Let's see what the hint is like. Okay. Should be close to the door. Does that mean same room, or does it mean close? Probably same room. Anyway, IKEA's damn good. I think it cannot be said enough that IKEA is top tier. I think they put a lot of thought into their furniture and how, like, you know, nicely minimalist and, like, fun to put together it is. I say fun. How, you know, intuitive the assembly process is. I'll call it, but I think it's really don't see where the switch is. Fee. Wait a minute. I don't think that's it. Does look awful suspicious, though. I'm really not sure where this thing is. I'll say open the hints, and if anyone just wants to tell me, I'm fine with that. Not opposed to a little backseat. I genuinely don't remember, and I genuinely don't see any switch. Just the way back. Exit. It's probably in the same room. We need an additional item to trigger it. One above, one below. You got the below, where's the above? Really don't see anything that says above or below or what the fuck. Bye. Vice. Ants. Let's look around. Could always be search the immediate vicinity. I'll look around. Been looking around a bunch with the slingshot, so not sure this will help. Shot though. Did I just see a weird blink? I feel like I just saw a weird blink. That was on the TV. So it's not just the computer or something. Skyward Sword. It's time to Google. Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword. Thinking. Second. Switch. Skyview. Temple. Look at this walkthrough. So we are in the right room. Okay, it's not in this room. That's all I need to know. We need to get out of here. We need to go into another room. Too hung up on what close means. Not that close. Or if it is, there's a circuitous route that gets you to it. What does immediate surroundings mean? Is the question. Door's locked though. So how am I to go inside? I feel like this dungeon has thrown me for a loop before. It's pretty vanilla, but also awkward. What's up? Look around and I'll find a thing to shoot that opens the door. I'll believe it when I see it. There's nothing in that little portal guy thing. There we go. All right. Got more cards. Let's do one. Thinking about getting a new laptop soon. Definitely on my mind. One of the things I would like to acquire for the new office. I'll say one other thing is that I need, like, I think a medium-sized backpack. As not that big, but big enough to carry everything I need to carry into and out of the office. Turns out there's no, like, storage in the office. You don't have, like, permanent overnight stores, as it's called. So that's kind of fun. Bring your own everything. Anyway, we'll have to get like a bag as well, but a laptop, that's what I've been thinking about. Something that I would like for any trips, anything of the sort. Not sure like when that'll be or really how I'll manage a trip. Well, also I would like to do my normal holidays if possible. At least a bunch of them. Maybe give up one of the winter holidays. Bummer, but what are you gonna do? Can't have them all. I'd like to do Japan, you see. Sometime this year. Be nice, I think. Crap, I'm out of this shit. That was... Anyway, starting to think about that. I haven't actually looked at, like, what is good. I'm not convinced that there is anything good. On account, I've not heard anyone ever with any hype whatsoever for, like, a Windows laptop. Since literally the last Windows laptop I got, a Lenovo Yoga. I feel like people were pretty excited about that. At least I was excited about that. Thought it was an exciting idea. I don't think they necessarily do like big exciting ideas anymore. So I don't know what I'll go for. Guess I'll look at the options and figure it out. I would like something powerful enough where, you know, streaming would not be a problem for it. No. It'd be fun to stream out of the hotel room now and again, if ever I was on an extended trip and I wanted to at least check in once mid-trip. I don't say that to be like, oh, you know, I'd take the time out. Like, nah, you can always... There's always downtime during trips that are long enough. You need time to relax and to feed up. Might as well have that be also content, I suppose. Anyway, laptop, definitely be looking at that before too long. Not like a 100% priority right now. There are other things that are more pressing, but including like setting up the new PC before considering like more new hardware. But we'll say again, I do have like a voucher to put towards that from the company, so do have incentive to get that ball rolling, get that all set up. I'm looking forward to it. I think that'll be fun and good for purposes of travel and such. For this year especially, want to travel to Japan, do that whole thing, have that be a whole fun time. I think I made a shortcut by jumping right to that ledge rather than going across and killing those spiders. Interesting. Things kind of suck. You know, imagine that you used to use motion controls, swinging by going like. And then, you know, you're not lined up, so what are you to do? Stop, I guess. Not great. Great. Anyway, last thought about the new job. I'll say, do people like open offices? I will say the office is an open office, you know, and also that there's no assigned seating, which at my last gig, before Corona, before all the offices closed, we were always like cubicle set up. And we would always hear like, well, the other office in the area that's like the bigger corporate office is more of a trendy thing with the new thing is like no assigned seating. You just sit down at whatever chair you fancy every day and oh, that's it. And we all heard that and went, ugh, I don't, you know, none of us were like excited about that. All of us were like, well, I'm glad we don't have that here. And, you know, now that I am working at a place that does have that, I can say like, oh yeah, this seems like clown shoes to me. The thing that I didn't realize that's ridiculous, especially in like a post-COVID world, and with hybrid being a thing, capacity is a big issue, it turns out. And as a result, it's not like you can have the same space every day, and like individual teams move back and forth between multiple different areas on the regular, which is very weird. Very weird to like, okay, on Mondays we're over here, on Tuesdays we're over there, and then we're back to here on Thursdays, and you know, the other 2 days we're working from home. It's like, okay, wow. It's like, you know, the thing is, oh, you have to fight for a desk. That is true, but also it seems like just on a basic level, my team has already lost the fight. We're picking up the spares. Picking up like the scraps of like, oh, whatever's left on Monday and Thursday, and then it's not available on the other day, so, you know, we'll take something else. That's nice. I don't know. You know, it seems to me like I don't know if like everywhere is equally stressed, or if it's like, oh, maybe some floors don't have that many people on it, but some massive thing. I'm sure I'll get used to it. And before long, it'll be business as usual, but so far it do make me think. Thought I had to do something. Thought that would raise the water enough so you can like swim over. Well, I can't go over here. I have a key. Oh, I know. Log. Anyway, it's an interesting thing. You know, mostly compliant and setting things up. It'll be a very slow start to that, but eventually it's gonna pick up and that'll be a whole thing. Alright, this is how you fight them now. You turn them around. They don't just show you their assholes anymore. They don't go like, oh yeah, here's my I'm just gonna flip around real fast, show you my butt. They don't just flip themselves around, show you all their weak points on the underside of their carapace. That's a silly thing to do. Why would anyone do it like that? I don't know. It's fun though, and at the end of the day, isn't that what matters? That it's fun, not that oh, the giant skull monsters, the giant skull spiders, they behave in a realistic fashion. No, giant skull spiders would not turn around and show you their assholes. What if they were really used? Thought you were something else. I don't know. I am really flagging, y'all, I'll say. Let's finish this dungeon and then call it. Making good pace, making good pace. It's just that it's nearly midnight and I'm tired. Been up since 7, pretty much. Not sure when I'm gonna get up on a regular basis at the new gig, but you know, I wouldn't expect the longest streams anymore, given that I do have to travel and eat. And, those things are best done on full nights of sleep. Hard to find like a. Will really depend. Maybe the thing will be like Tuesday streams, you know, like night before, you know, night before work from home, so I can just get an extra hour of sleep, maybe not have to deal with the commute or anything. I just roll out of bed like real close to start of work time, versus like on a work from office night. The commute is going to be like a factor. That said, tonight is an odd case because I got like it's all remote training stuff the next 4 days. I say training, probably more like compliance type activities. I really don't know why they need a full 4 days for whatever welcome stuff they got in store, but you know. I bet it'll be fun. Is that not enough? I think that is enough. What other cards do I have here on my big card docket thing? I rewatched Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'll say that movie is perhaps a little less plot-driven than I remembered. It's a lot more of a good scenes movie, if that makes sense. It's just like cool multiverse stuff, evocative imagery, and some really flashy, fun action sequences that are, you know, based around a cool concept of like characters trying to do weird things to get random superpowers or, you know, super experience that helps them in fights. And all that makes for a fun and flashy good time. I'll say I watched this over the weekend with my folks, and you know, it's on streaming platforms. It's on Amazon Prime now, so that's why we finally did it. Finally saw it. And I'll say my dad had no fucking idea what was going on the whole movie. Came away saying like, "Oh, I had no idea what the hell any of that was," and I don't think anyone has any idea, which is a funny thing to say. People know what happened in that movie. I heard another streamer say, a bigger streamer, the main one I really like and talk about a bunch, Dan Reichert. He once said that his dad came out of the Matrix originally and said, no one understands that movie, and if anyone tells you that they do, they're lying to you. And that's just a very funny thing to say, and same vibes. Same vibes. Yeah. We just did a little bit of a mini-boss, which... good tutorial for, like, hey, you know, more directional stuff. In this case, you have to pick the exact right direction, like up or down, or, you know, not left, not right, depending on where the swords are. That's a good little bit of nuance. Now we have the beetle, which flies around, and you can hit stuff with it, kinda. Man, I bet this was really dog shit, or, you know, I say dog shit. It's really awkward on a Wiimote with motion controls, you know, it's can't have been good. Now, could it have been? I don't think motion controls generally didn't work. And even with Motion Plus, like, oh wow, you know, with Motion Plus it's like, oh shit. Now it can accurately know what I was trying to do. No. It'll know if you pushed it up or laid it down or whatever the fuck. And you just think, well, it's kind of supposed to do all that in the first place, wasn't it? The answer is yes. But they didn't quite nail it, so had to do a do-over. I got the maximum amount of rupees. Okay, we can't go through there. Not a great hole. Ugh. Again, getting tired. Push through though. Here's another card. Did y'all play Fallout New Vegas? I've been watching a good amount of H-Bomber Guy's stuff recently, and I decided to just go ahead and watch some of his, like, gaming stuff in particular. I've been watching more of the video essays, like the Plagiarism one, Tommy Talrico, stuff like that. And I decided to give, like, oh yeah, tell me about Deus Ex Machina. Mankind Divided, okay, it's alright. But it has a lot of complicated issues, okay. Then I watched the one about Fallout New Vegas, and watching him, like, describe it and say everything that's cool about it makes me go like, god damn, I feel like I didn't really appreciate everything that it was doing as far as, like, structure, as far as, like, doing things right, making every NPC killable. Oh shit, god damn. That's an issue that even today a lot of games have. You know, a lot of games of the sort like Starfield. Starfield has, like, random NPCs that don't even matter on the whole, but for, like, one quest, they'll just be invincible. Like some CEO asshole who wants to like do some indentured servitude-ism. Like, you hear about that dude, and you just go like, okay, I think I'd rather you not be alive. But the game won't let you kill him because, I don't know, they can't prepare for anything. I'd understand if it was like part of the main quest, but who gives a fuck about this fucking quest, right? Just some random one. That. Anyway, hearing about that and all the things that it does to, like, make things discoverable, lead the player around to go on, make sure they get quests that are fun. You know, that they find their way to the big landmarks. A lot of that'll be stuff like, oh yeah, it's a big landmark. You see a fucking T-Rex in the middle of the wasteland, you check out what the T-Rex is. And I can't argue with that. Honestly. Part of me is tempted to go back and play it. Do some of that, but I did try out, like, going back into it like a few years ago. And I did find the start to be a little bit like on the slow side. I don't know, like it felt like it was just a lot of walking and talking to people, kinda. With like just okay action. I don't know if it was a matter of just like, oh yeah, it kind of aged in the last few years, you know, it's not as hot as it once was. Or if it's a matter of like, I just wasn't in the mood for it. I did love the Outer Worlds when I got that, so it's not like I cannot love that particular genre. Snip these webs. Anyway, that game sounds really, really smart. Honestly, tempted to go back and play more of it and try to appreciate like the faction stuff. I really loved and enjoyed how each of the factions is like. There's a lot of moral grades in that game, which I do think are really impressive compared to like, hey, you want to be evil and like blow up a city? Or, oh, you want to be good and not blow up a city? Sure. You know, that's fine and that's fun, and I got a lot of value out of it back in the day. But it is really interesting that the New Vegas, or New California Republic, is kind of like corrupt, like a very fun way. Whereas like Caesar's Legion is just... it's just like, you know, out of control, but hey, they keep the peace. I think originally when I played it, I was like, okay, I'm kind of interested in maybe being a villain or something, you know, check out Caesar's Legion. But I ended up thinking that they were just a bunch of hard asses, you know, and saying like, well, I think I'd rather side with Mr. House because he was the only one who's like, I don't think is an asshole. Then I realized you can do the fourth option, you know. You can do your sidekick, you know, the robot guy. You can do him and replace the big bad at the top. Take his plan for yourself, you know. As I think H Bomber Guy put it when he was summarizing that that ending, that choice. That was my choice, the fourth option. I'll say also, I don't think I ever got into all the DLC in New Vegas. I remember, like, with Fallout 3, the DLC was, like, some of the best stuff, and it was very, like, DLC was some of the best stuff, and it was very important to, like, make your way through in order to have, like, the best experience. say like I had multiple characters in Fallout 3. I played it multiple times, but the first DLC really of Fallout New Vegas didn't quite get me. I wonder if I just wasn't in the right headspace, or if it was actually like not as good as the Fallout 3 DLCs. What am I missing? Nothing. There's just a diamond. Raises the water, which is good. Good. Lagging a little bit. Still don't mind. Here's, I think, one of the last cards that I got. Indeed, it is the last card. I've been playing some Marvel Snap, as I do for my regular game. It's been a new season this week since the Tuesday. And I haven't been doing that well. I've only gotten up to 80, 10 ranks from where I started. 83, really. So, it's been pretty slow going, pretty slow and steady. That said, I have found a deck that I like. I've been trying to make business with it. That's how I got from 70 to 80 over the weekend, which is what I call the Alex Horn Special, out of the guy from Taskmaster UK. It's a obscure joke, perhaps, but it's a deck built around the Taskmaster, built around like doing Sauron into a bunch of you know, powerful dudes that hopefully have their bad effects like nullified, and then like say if I have like a couple of these guys on the board, I can do a big Scar play where say Scar is reduced to a 2 cost. It turns out you can play Shuri and then Scar to get like a bunch of points on one location. Now, the problem is that it doesn't... Problem is when you look at it, is that it doesn't really compare to... It is true that it doesn't really compare to, Oh, sorry, let me get that down. It doesn't really compare to, forgot about that for a second. It doesn't really compare to, the Blob so much, so you gotta watch out for that and know, like, oh yeah, if they're blobbing, that's probably a loss. Can't really compete in terms of power put out over a blob deck. No, that's just not how it works. But I've been having a good time. I've had some success. Like I said, I got up 10 ranks, so... I can cut this on. I've been having some good success. It's been working out so far. Say, bring up the deck again. You might notice there's an empty slot. That's because I've been unsure about what to fill it with. I've tried Zabu, but I found like the Sauron interaction is awkward, and if I have enough mana for a turn 2 play, then it's probably gonna want to be armor rather than the other one. Pretty cool. I also tried She-Hulk, but it didn't seem like the deck discounted enough with that. You know, it's like, there we go. It's like you barely ever get down to... Oh, I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. I feel like I had a big thing to say about a thing, but it's all slipped right out of my head. What happens when you're tired? You stop being able to think good. Anyway, still thinking about what goes into that slot. I've been recently trying magic for like the limbo, not limbo, but yeah, for the limbo, yes. It does. For the limbo that adds a 7th turn. The only thing about that is that if I do end up doing the same things I did on 4, 5, 6, then it works out. But if I end up having to play a 3-drop on 4, then I might as well have just not bought the time and just had done that on 3. Jeez, I'm struggling here to keep the train of thought going. So far, no issues tonight as far as the setup goes, as far as I know. So that's nice. That's lovely. Opened a way back. Get over there. Ugh. Sound like there's guys coming from both sides. Come on, dude. Dude! Bastard. I wanted you to fall down and start jostling it. Whatever. There we go. Ooh. Good deal. I need a boss key. Then we can go through, get that done, and you know, throw to an ending. So this dungeon, I have to rate. It's pretty low tier as far as this game goes, anyway. Pretty vanilla. Mechanisms are not most inspired. I guess the guy that you control is okay. The thing is, he just hits stuff and that's it. He can't carry anything. So you know. The result, he ends up to be very, very simplistic. Oh, jeez. Just gotta get a key, put the key in the door, boss battle, then we're done. I'll say also, I'll try in future streams to start sooner, because that would help a lot if we had started, say, at 8 o'clock sharp. Like I said, I did want to check out the new shows before I started rather than after or tomorrow, God forbid. But I think in the future we'll be looking more to do them tomorrow. Hit. Jumping into it. Jump on the rope. Still mostly flying. The alignment is so fucked in this. It's not good. Especially if you're correcting a vine that's already in motion. But if you go lower on the thing. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, this'll be it. Fantastic. I got the golden carving. Golden carving. Alright. That'll let us go and do a boss fight. Then we'll end. I can't see doing anything more than the boss fight. Next time, we'll have some of our work cut out for us, insofar as we're not going through a whole another story bit in Skyloft. Not that big a one anyway. But we might have to fight a guy. Other than a boss of like a dungeon. I feel like the more times we're able to get through dungeons on one of these, the more chance there'll be a 7-hour, maybe not that many, 6-hour installment where just the progress cannot be made for reasons. That's right. Right. Here's another sword guy. He is just also very clearly a sword. The character that'll never come back. Yes, it's me. Kinda looks like a vampire elf. This guy's the spinner of storms. She's just over there. That's fantastic. I want to meet her. Can you let me through? Or do we have to fight first? Oh, I don't like this guy. I'm gonna take out my sword and we're gonna fight. I'll say, by the way, as far as VODs go, I wouldn't expect them any sooner than like 24 hours after, like the afternoon after the stream, probably. I say afternoon, more like evening. Probably after work on the next day. Like maybe if it's a work from home day, I could do it during lunch. And, you know, crank that off real fast, the thumbnail and timestamps, but I wouldn't count on it. And, you know, it's gonna be a thing. Of course, for the Friday streams, that's a different thing. Because Friday, as you know, is the weekend. And, it's very easy to, on Saturday morning, crank that out. Okay, boss man. I don't remember what the nuance is. I feel like the last time I fought him, it was confusing because I did think there was something to this fight. I think there's supposed to be, but looks like he has magic powers. Like whatever way I swing, he'll be blocking it. There's a lady in my sword. Oh yeah, now I remember the thing. Hold up. And like two other directions. Kind of weird. Okay, so comboing it into a cross is not gonna work. It's more awkward to like shift from holding to slicing in another direction without hitting. Whoa. I'll say this is maybe one of the harder first bosses in the whole series, franchise. Like you have to master a lot about like the sword tech and like when to not do something and figure out all these weird patterns. Like, oh, how do you react to this sword? And also figure out good specifics as in like, oh, bait into doing this thing. Okay, shield. Shield that. Gotta be close. We gotta be close. It's also weird as a boss goes, no involvement of the dungeon item. There's no involvement of the new item in this fight at all. Kind of a shame because it is a neat item. That it? Whew. That was a little too close. That was a little too close for comfort. See you later. I'll see you later. I think that I just missed Zelda. I think that that'll be the thing of this whole like first couple arcs. It's like, oh, we just missed Zelda. Zelda was just here. Zelda just left the dungeon, and somehow she got through it without solving a single dungeon puzzle. And leaving it in such a state where we cannot traverse it. Maybe she just magicked her way through it. Oh no, it's not been established, I think, that she has magic, but pretty sure the god gave her magic. The goddess gave her magic. Let's see what's up over here, and then we'll call it. Okay. Even if Zelda was here, she must have said, oh crap, I can't do a Skyward Strike. So what am I supposed to do with this? Okay, well, I'm moving on. Guess I did my thing. Link will be around in, oh, say, 10 minutes to do his thing. And I gotta be somewhere else by then. What did that do? Oh, did she do a dance here? Right, she does like a little dance. Yes. She's gonna go to the Earth Spring. So you must go to the Earth Spring as well, if you so please. So what were we doing here? Why did we go here? We got a message from the gods. Oh, hey, hang on. Oh, there's a tablet, and that's gonna let us go to the place where she went by use of the Skyway. Okay, crap. I remember one of these being weird. One of these tablets being weird. But I guess maybe it was only one of them. Maybe it wasn't the tablets. It was like a weird whale thing later in the game. Where you have to fly around and fight a whale or something. I don't know. Or dragon type thing. Ah. Well. I'm tired. Where are you? Okay. I'm sad to say, but I will see y'all like 12 more times. Because this game, you know, it only has 3 areas. So, you can't say this is the last time we would see them. We will see them again. Oh, he's so intense. So intense. Okay. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. I'm going to pull up the schedule. I'm going to be back on Thursday with a variety night, the last one for a bit, at least on Thursday. I don't know, maybe I could see about doing one on a weekend sometime. I don't know though, the weekend's just got a whole lot more valuable, and well, I do like to just do nothing on Sunday, if however possible. I'm gonna be back on Thursday with Banjo-Kazooie PC and Banjo-Kazooie PC 2, two maybe obscure fan games from like around the turn of the millennia, around to the year 2000, that I have very fond memories of. At least the second one maybe is more fleshed out than the first one, but in any case, expect MS Paint graphics, expect songs that are just the original songs, you know, from Banjo-Kazooie, and expect some gameplay that is basically kind of isometric in a way that is you gotta squint a little and imagine that it looks a bit more like Banjo-Kazooie. It's not quite polished like Grunty's Revenge by comparison. After that, I will be back for fewer levels, and if you're looking for more Skyward Sword, Mondays will be How That Do. Let's see who's online. Do a quick raid. I'm not feeling too like in the mood. Let's go with plastic bags. Plastic bags. It's a good dude. Send you over there. And that's going to do it for tonight. Folks, thanks for stopping by, hanging out, doing whatever. I'll thank the people who watch the VOD as well. If anyone watching the VOD is at this point, I like that. I appreciate you. I hope that you enjoyed watching. I'll see y'all on Thursday with BKPC and BKPC2. I think those should be a curious look back, sort of a nostalgic thing for me. Sort of an interesting, what the hell is this, for maybe everyone else. Maybe a lot of the other people who will watch that. I'll see you then, or for viewer levels, or for more Skyward Sword HD. I'm happy to have gotten through a whole dungeon in the first stream. I'll see if I can keep that up in subsequent streams, or if I'll have to compromise as things get more and more bloated. Alright, folks, y'all have a good one. I'll see you Thursday. Bye! Really, bye!